Christina, and this is Lazy Days Gardening. Today I'm going to run through some garden preparation techniques, specifically for raised beds. So this is my lowland garden that we're in today, and I've done no-till in the past. Unfortunately, this garden has quackgrass in it. So all of these little shoots coming up here, look at these long roots, this is quackgrass, and it's awful. Quackgrass was planted on this farm in the Great Depression era because it would grow during a drought. And my predecessors had sheep and they needed something to feed those sheep. And that's where quackgrass came in. Unfortunately, it's like the bane of my existence now in this garden and a real struggle. So we've gone back to tillage and making raised beds each year instead of having an established raised bed that you can just go back in. So when I'm doing my raised beds, I measure them out to make sure that they're all 25 feet long and spaced either 2 feet apart or 3 feet apart. This year I'm doing 3 feet apart. I just like to have a little bit of extra space in between my raised beds so that my kids and I can maneuver through the garden. And in between the 25-foot rows, the other way is also a 3-foot path. So there's plenty of space to get in and out of the garden from multiple directions. So after I have my raised beds measured out, I just literally take a hoe and start tilling up the ground. I'd like to have my raised beds be like 6 to 8 inches deep, ideally. You can prepare your raised beds as soon as the ground can be worked in the spring. Living in zone 4, I can usually get things going as early as mid-April, but if our spring is a little on the late side, sometimes I can't get into the garden until May. Some of the benefits of raised beds include season extension, both in the spring and the fall, better water retention in sandy soils, and better drainage in clay soils, less compaction from foot traffic, and that also includes toddler and small child traffic if you happen to have them. So it's nice to have a space for my children to go where they know they aren't going to crush mom's precious vegetable plants. Raised beds are also really beneficial for root crops. Carrots prefer some space to grow in, and if that soil isn't loose and it's too compacted, you're going to have short, stubby carrots. So if you want long root vegetables that have plenty of space to grow to their full capacity, raised beds are definitely the way to go. Whew, that was a lot of work. So now that I have my raised bed built essentially, I'm going to add some compost. So that's the next step. So I'm really fortunate to live on a dairy farm, which means that I have access to so much cow poop and I can compost that cow poop. So behind me is some nice composted cow poop here. It's really great stuff for growing my vegetables. And I'm so thankful that I have that. Not everybody has access to cow poop. There are other kinds of poop that are great too. Bunny poop, pig poop, chicken poop. But for real, if you don't have access to something like that, because most people don't, I highly recommend buying some sort of compost. Purple Cow Organics does a really beautiful compost. They're one of my favorites, but there are others that are on the market. You can even buy them at Amazon. So, I mean, it's really up to you. This is compost.
But that's dirt.
It's dirt. That's right. Compost is really fertile dirt. And it's got so many nutrients for our vegetable plants in our garden.
Can I come in?
You can go play in the compost. I don't care. I like to add 2 to 3 inches of compost on my raised beds. This year, I'm only getting maybe like an inch on this raised bed because we already applied raw manure on the raised bed and had it tilled in. So I'm just doing this 1 inch of compost and then I'll work it in with a garden rake. now my beautiful raised bed is ready to plant. Hooray! So there you have it, all you need to know about making a raised bed. If you like what you saw today, please click subscribe. Thanks for joining.